Welcome everyone. Welcome to 2020 Seoul Design Week of Online Forum. I am Choi CEO of Perception. First of all, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to all speakers at home and abroad to be part of this forum out of your busy schedule, and welcome all audiences who are joining us online. I am very honored to host this meaningful event. Because of COVID-19, uncertainties around the survival has increased, non-contact has spread, and remote working and education have become our daily lives. And these have settled down as new normal. In this forum, we will share domestic and international design solutions and cases in which we can find solace in the new normal era. It is also an online forum. There will be one keynote speech and 5 case studies, and every lecture is pre-recorded, which will be followed by live panel discussions. I think it will be all the more meaningful because we prepare it against the unprecedented difficulties. I hope it will be a chance for you to learn and share cases and thoughts of global designers who are suggesting better lives through design. We sincerely ask for your participation. There is a live chatting on the side of the screen. While having forum, please leave your questions and comments, then that will be responded as much as possible during the panel discussion. Then let us start. First up, Ms. Caroline Naphegyi, Program Director of 2020 World Design Capital, will touch upon how to recreate our lifestyle in the public health, energy, and climate crisis. And she serves as a Program Director of the World Design Capital, is dedicating to suggest innovative design and future, and preparing many different programs to learn and share about new sense of responsibility of design. Let's have a look.
Comment réinventer nos manières de vivre dans un contexte de crise sanitaire et plus globalement de crise énergétique et climatique? Massive change is not about the world of design, it's about the design of the world, écrivait Buso en 2004 à l'occasion de son exposition Massive Change. Son questionnement repose sur le fait de savoir si ce monde est conçu pour la destruction ou pour un nouveau monde durable que nous pouvons transmettre en toute sécurité à nos enfants et aux enfants de nos enfants. Le design est né avec la production de masse dans un monde basé sur un modèle économique productiviste, puis mondialisé. Il réconcilie le beau et l'utile, la fonction et l'esthétique. Cependant, depuis son origine, le périmètre d'action du design s'est largement étendu. Il infiltre tous les aspects de notre quotidien, de la cuillère à la ville, comme se plaisait à le définir Max Bill, une formule largement reprise par bon nombre de designers et architectes, d'Ernesto Rogers, Le Corbusier, Gio Ponti et plus récemment Frank Gehry. Au tournant des années 50, 2 courants du design s'affrontent. Le good design de Max Bill, tel qu'il le définit en 1949, et le contre-design, l'anti-design d'Alessandro Mendini, en opposition totale à la logique de design industriel, un design critique et spéculatif qui construit un monde à l'échelle de l'homme. Le design est le processus par lequel l'humanité devrait consciemment transformer les surfaces du monde afin de créer des environnements symboliques et fonctionnels appropriés à sa vie. C'est ainsi que Mendini définit le design en 1972. Ainsi, la mission du design n'est pas seulement de produire des objets et des outils pour l'environnement humain, mais bien de donner une impulsion à l'amélioration des conditions de vie. Aujourd'hui, le rôle du design dépasse la question de la forme et de la fonction. Il ne se limite plus à un système d'objets fonctionnels désirables, il adopte une posture critique du monde dans lequel nous vivons. Dans ce contexte de crise sanitaire qui impacte le monde, le temps est venu d'aborder le cœur du problème. Avril 2020, soudain le monde fut immobilisé. 3 milliards de personnes sont confinées simultanément. Le designer Rudy Bord réalise une série de dessins dès les premiers jours du confinement, un journal de bord en réaction à l'actualité. L'état d'urgence dans lequel se trouve le monde, la Terre et la société ne porte pas seulement sur les conséquences de la pandémie due à la Covid-19, mais il porte également sur l'ensemble des maux dont souffre la planète. Les tsunamis, les guerres, les virus, les accidents nucléaires, les dérèglements climatiques, la perte de la biodiversité, les inégalités sociales. La mesure de l'ampleur de la catastrophe est prise, les actions humaines ont des effets indésirables sur la planète. À l'heure du grand récit de l'Anthropocène, c'est-à-dire l'influence de l'homme sur son environnement, la renaissance du monde de l'après-crise sanitaire nous amène nécessairement à questionner l'impact de l'homme sur la planète. Il y a eu un avant la crise sanitaire, l'après se doit être soutenable. Le temps est venu pour une transformation radicale de la société. Nos manières de vivre doivent se réinventer. Quelles actions mettre en place pour générer le prototype d'un nouveau modèle de développement, pour inventer de nouvelles manières d'habiter le monde, plus sobres, plus durables, économes en ressources naturelles, pour un monde plus juste. Dans la quête de l'avènement du monde d'après, le design a des atouts spécifiques. L'empathie, pour l'humain, pour la planète, la créativité, la recherche de fertilisation croisée avec d'autres disciplines, la méthode expérimentale. Surtout, le design travaille à l'émergence de solutions concrètes. En anticipant les comportements futurs, le design contribue à la prévention des crises. Par les outils dont ils se servent, les designers ont montré leur adaptabilité au changement. Ils ont ouvert les nouveaux chantiers qui dépassent le processus industriel traditionnel. Le design a la capacité à formuler de nouvelles réponses et dans ce contexte de crise, une responsabilité éthique et critique dans la construction du monde à venir. Dans ce contexte, le design tourne nécessairement le dos au productivisme, lequel rime avec user, exploiter, détruire, et interroge le mode traditionnel de production, de transformation et de circulation des matières. Lors du premier confinement, de nombreux intellectuels se sont associés aux réflexions des designers pour adopter une posture critique et réflexive face à cette crise. Plusieurs initiatives ont alors vu le jour. Pensez aujourd'hui ce que nous voulons demain. Le confinement a joué le rôle de révélateur quant au questionnement sur les manières d'habiter le monde et a transformé nos envies en résolutions. Serons-nous capables de nous en souvenir ? Qu'en sera-t-il dans un an ? Au-delà du recueil de nos idées, l'objectif de l'interface collaborative Idées pour demain, imaginée par le designer français Jean-Louis Fréchin, fondateur de Nos Design, est de projeter nos idées dans le temps. Ce recueil réunit plus de 500 contributions sur les manières de voir le monde, individuelles, altruistes, concertées ou utopiques. Pour nous aider à plus de discernement, le sociologue, anthropologue et philosophe français Bruno Latour a mis en open source sur son site un outil d'autodescription pour imaginer les gestes barrières, non pas contre la pandémie, mais contre le retour à la production d'avant-crise, et pour identifier nos propres champs d'action, individuels ou collectifs. Une autre initiative, Design Emergency, une série d'entretiens menés par Paola Antonelli et Alice Rothorn et diffusée sur Instagram. Ces conversations avec des designers et des architectes démontrent l'extraordinaire diversité du design et l'efficacité avec laquelle ils peuvent répondre à des problèmes urgents, révéler aussi les défis sociaux, politiques, économiques et écologiques complexes en ces temps turbulents. Enfin, le World Hope Forum est le fruit d'une réflexion initiée par Lideveil et Delcourt, Philippe Fimamo pendant le confinement. Ce forum engage les créatifs du monde entier à se fédérer pour agir ensemble. Dans ce contexte de crise, la communauté créative doit prouver sa capacité à s'unir et à proposer une vision innovante, à la fois plus respectueuse des individus et de la planète. Lancé à Eindhoven pendant la Design Week, le forum a été présenté à Lille en novembre dans le cadre de Design is Capital, la capitale mondiale du design. En attendant les prochaines éditions du World Forum, les interventions des designers sont disponibles sur YouTube. Si nous avions à concevoir un plan de sauvetage du monde, il faudrait considérer les propositions alternatives comme des solutions de la dernière chance à saisir, écrit Fabienne Brugère, la philosophe du Caire. Ainsi, pour prototyper le monde de demain, le design propose une façon de se donner les moyens d'agir. Voyons maintenant les alternatives proposées par les designers et les philosophes. Le concept même du care, c'est prendre soin de la planète et des autres, faire fructifier les richesses de la nature plutôt que de les épuiser. Taek Nushimoto recycle le papier journal qu'il feutre à l'eau, puis le moule sous forme de tabourets, lesquels sont colorés par des traces d'encre d'impression des journaux. The Growing Pavilion de compagnie New Heroes est un pavillon construit à partir de mycélium de champignons, 100% écologique dans toutes ses composantes. Comment ça vrac est une épicerie mobile, locale et bio, qui vient à votre porte à vélo dans tous les quartiers de la ville. Les fournisseurs sont des producteurs locaux, les aliments sont vendus en vrac pour éviter les emballages. C'est un bon moyen d'agir pour la planète tout en valorisant la production locale. Carafun, la pratique du chant est connue pour ses vertus thérapeutiques. Elle active la mémoire, procure des émotions et facilite la réussite à des moments collectifs. Carafun est un dispositif de karaoké simple à mettre en œuvre dans les résidences de personnes âgées. Le masque de plongée Easy Breath est l'une des innovations best-sellers de la marque Decathlon. Grâce à son dessin couvrant tout le visage et une prise d'air déportée, il associe en un même objet le masque et le tuba. Désormais détourné pour pallier au déficit de respirateurs artificiels nécessaires aux patients atteints de la Covid-19, il a été adapté par une entreprise italienne en collaboration avec les hôpitaux du nord de l'Italie. La pandémie oblige à une solidarité, à une relation permanente au collectif. C'est ce qu'a mis en pratique la petite ville de Sailly-lès-Lannoy avec l'aide d'une équipe de designers. La démarche de la fabrique salisienne est simple et concrète. Elle s'appuie sur le bon sens de chacun. Les habitants, les élus de Sailly, tous concernés par l'avenir de leur village et par la construction d'un bien-être ensemble. En voici un exemple concret, un marquage de stop pour covoiturage conçu par Vincent Dupont-Rougier. Dans ce village situé à 20 km de Lille, le peu de transport en commun oblige chaque foyer à posséder au moins une voiture. Après plusieurs mois de diagnostic, de sondage auprès des usagers, de workshop avec le designer de We Think Design, le projet de créer un point autostop et une application numérique pour sécuriser les trajets des usagers est expérimenté. Il aura permis de créer un réseau d'usagers collaboratifs et acteurs de la solution et de répliquer l'idée dans un village alentour qui rencontre les problématiques similaires. Playful City, ce projet porté par l'équipe de recherche en psychologie cognitive de l'Université de Lille et la designer Capucine Diancourt, propose de transformer les espaces urbains et d'inviter les citoyens à découvrir le plaisir de l'activité physique de façon ludique. Il s'agit de créer des environnements sensoriels surprenants qui incitent l'usager à une pratique physique. Le design s'inscrit dans un écosystème d'interrelation entre les humains et les non-humains. Par non-humains, j'entends les plantes, les animaux, les objets. Comme nous l'avons vu, le design est au centre d'un système de relations complexes en interconnexion avec d'autres disciplines. Designers, philosophes, anthropologues, ingénieurs, scientifiques, naturalistes et bien d'autres encore, tous ensemble élargissent considérablement les champs d'action et de production du design. Ils contribuent à penser, à construire un monde durable pour les générations à venir. Merci pour votre attention.
Thank you very much. And this was the keynote speech, and that was largely about how to change our lifestyle through design in the crisis of public health, energy, and climate. And during the speech, she pointed out that massive change is not about the word of design, but the design of the word. And we should never forget that design is included in the interrelations between human and non-human and ecosystem, and all of us should work together to make a sustainable world that is memorable. Now,
From now on, we will meet the cases of speakers from home and abroad. The designs that comfort the rapidly changing daily lives of the COVID-19 era will be introduced. And our first speaker is the project manager and international relations manager of Centro Design Brasil, Ms. Juliana Buso. Ms. Juliana Buso, with the aim of improving Brazil's competitiveness and economic and social development, she's cooperating with industry and government agencies to carry out a number of strategic design projects. By nurturing excellent designers, she's also committed to improving the competitiveness of Brazilian design. With the title of the presentation, The Design Cases Applied in Brazil During the COVID-19, she will make presentation.
Hello, I am Juliana Buso, Project Manager and International Relations from Centro Brasil Design. I really would like to thank you for this invitation to take part in the Seoul Design Week 2020. It is a huge honor for us. We are living at different times, and this is global. The impact of the pandemic is affecting our day by day and consequently our business. We believe that design is a tool that transforms lives, business, and realities. Centro Brasil Design is a recognized institution that promotes the use and the culture of design and innovation in Brazilian companies. We are the connection between industry, startups, university, and creatives. We use design and innovation as strategic drivers for competitiveness and take these tools to every sector of the Brazilian economy. I will tell you about 4 case studies of design related to COVID-19 issues applied in Brazil. One, masks for all. This was a campaign that we publish arts from the Brazilian design community in the Centro Brasil Design Network, social media. And the campaign name is Masks for All. The app, an app called Salve. This app was a result from an international research called Design for Emergency. The other case is Auto Mask, one real mask that has been produced by a Brazilian toy industry, and Gomo bracelet, one bracelet that is an alcohol gel dispenser. So, considering the masks campaign, I would like to explain to you what we did to make people aware of the importance of wearing masks. Centro Brasil Design invite a lot of design offices around Brazil, and we ask them to develop a graphic material to post in our social network to make people aware of the importance of wearing masks. This was a very nice campaign that began in March to April of 2020. This was the first COVID wave in Brazil. You can check the arts in this presentation, and we have a huge engagement and interaction with the Brazilian community. Now about Salve app. It is a solution developed to serve citizens in peripheral communities that are difficult to access. In this health emergency scenario, thousands of citizens without a source of permanent income have no way to eat or maintain basic standards or hygiene and maintenance of life. Living in communities with a high population concentration without the possibility of removal or social isolation. The app allows residents of communities to apply to donate their time and competence in support other residents in the most vulnerable situations, enables monitoring, assistance, and eventual removal to individuals through the app. Users can register in eventual case of infection and keep updated information about the infected and various emergency situations. The app also allows you to manage actions based on the record data, access information on prevention of health emergencies, ask for help or rescue, concentrates the number of registered volunteers and participants in community assistance actions, being these medical or food security emergencies. Who can contribute with this action? UI and UX designers, web, mobile app developers, product designers, and application engineers, urban government planning agencies also. This was the Salve app, and now we would like to tell you about a mask called Otto. This mask is 100% produced in Brazil. The Otto mask is a reusable protection mask. Is made with flexible, no toxic material, the differential of which is the Nanox Clean antimicrobial technology and filters with triple layers and filter elements with bacterial filtration efficiency greater than 95%. The mask was registered in Anvisa, that is a Brazilian National Healthy Regulation Agency. The mask can be used during work activity in commerce, offices and services, necessary departures from home, use in public transportation, going to the supermarket, going to the pharmacy, and all the activities that were carried out without the need for masks before the pandemic. Designed and produced entirely in Brazil, the mask meets the great demand of our population, maintaining and generating jobs and income within our country. The auto mask kit contains 2 surgical masks and 4D surgical filters. Every person or every business is allowed to buy it online. Now I would like to share with you the study of Gomo bracelet. Please enjoy the video.
OS creates, develops and produces shoes since 2008. This year was a bit different. We turned our efforts to the study of materials and technologies of shoe production to create something that could be useful in preventing COVID-19. For this challenge, we invited UFPR, which set up research groups and identified that we should start in Ceará, in Brasil Centro. In addition to the high rate of spread of the disease in the city, all of our production is done there. With that in mind, UFC and UFCA entered to help us with ideas, information, and local experience so that the project would make sense regionally. The result was the Gomo bracelet, a hand sanitizer dispenser designed to create the habit of preventive hygiene in a practical and effective way. The Gomo bracelet is portable, modular, and interchangeable. After 4 months of work, we launched the project by donating the bracelet to all public school students from 10 to 14 years old in Brasil Centro. Going beyond our commercial relationship with the city and thus developing a project that is a counterpart to the affection we have in the production of each pair of O's. Since one hand washes the other, after this initial donation, the Gomo bracelets will be available for sale for 35 reais. For each bracelet sold, another one will be given, free of charge, to a child from public schools in other cities in Ceará. The delivery of donations will be linked to an educational training on the use of the bracelet in the prevention of COVID-19 and the correct disposal of the piece. Training will be secure and remote. The Gomo bracelet is made of TPU, a highly resistant material, 100% recyclable and non-toxic, essential to ensure the health of everyone involved. In addition, a reverse logistics system will compensate 100% of the material used in the entire production of each bracelet. And we can go further. The project has a Creative Commons license, which allows its reproduction, sharing, and alterations by anyone, as long as it is not for commercial purposes. Go to os.com.br/pulseiragomo and get yours, or find the store that is closest to you.
One more time, I would like to thank you for this invitation. We were really happy, and Centro Brasil Design is always open. And of course, we can answer questions if you have. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. She has shared wonderful cases. Ms. Buso shared advanced design practices in Brazil, which are going in line with the rapid changes in our everyday life. As the impact of pandemics is affecting our daily lives and our businesses, I believe design can be a tool for our changing life and business. And this tool can help us solve problems through various perspectives using online and offline services, products, and campaigns and communications. And this tool can be used for caring for the underprivileged. So it was time to think about what values and possibilities we can apply in design in the future. One moment, please. All right. So this is the first time for me hosting this forum. So I feel new to me, and please bear with me. So I'm sure that many ladies and gentlemen are joining us on the forum, and you see the open chatting box on the right side of the window. So please leave your questions or comments, and we'll make sure that your comments are covered during the panel discussion.
Let's move on to the second presentation. And the second presentation is about the social design cases in the era of a new normal. And Singapore design company Forest&Whale co-founder Wendy, Chua, and Gustavo Maggio will make a presentation. And Forest&Whale focuses on product, cyclical system, and future design. It is well known for designing the product and system with the best materials in a sustainable way. They have received so many globally renowned awards, including Red Dot Design Award. Given the social design of the post-COVID-19 era, they have tried multiple design solutions. Based on the current project that they are working on, two co-founders touched upon how to respond to the pandemic with the design. Let's listen to the presentation.
Hi everyone, I'm Gustavo and this is Wendy. Firstly, thanks for having us here today, it's our pleasure. So we run the international design practice Forest&Whale, and today we are going to share a bit of the work that we do and how we have been responding to the challenges of the pandemic here in Singapore. So when the public health crisis struck, it resulted in unprecedented global lockdown of cities. People are trapped in homes. Working from home has been normalized, at least it has for us here. In many cities, people are now heavily reliant on food and groceries delivery, and all these has been translated into a dramatic increase of food packaging waste. So this led us to think, as designers, how we can take this challenge of reducing single-use plastic in food delivery and takeaway.
Yeah, so as we approach this project, first we asked, what are the reasons that lead to inaction despite greater public awareness for environmental issues? Why do people not care enough to be committed to change? And we think there are two key reasons. One, we cannot foresee the effects of climate change and visualize a faraway future that may not immediately affect us now. And two, we do not think our small individual actions actually matter.
And based on these 2 points, it became clear that for people to adopt change, any change in the lifestyle, we need to design desirable, sustainable alternatives that do not compromise on functionality or user experience, material properties, or even cost. And these solutions should ideally also integrate within existing ecosystems. And a bit of figures now, according to UN environmental report, out of the 300 million tons of plastic that are produced worldwide every year, almost half of that goes to packaging and is designed to be used only once. And this is one of the reasons that we chose to focus on reducing single-use plastic in food packaging. In the next few minutes, Wendy and I will share some of the insights that we gleaned from this research and ongoing project.
Yeah, so this is of course a global issue, but it is also urgent in Singapore because the island used for the landfill of incinerated waste will be filled up by 2035. So we are currently on an urgent need to reduce the amount of waste that we produce as a city. And through our research, we envisioned 3 key design directions. 1, the compostable or edible food packaging. 2, the reusable takeaway container. And 3, the hybrid takeaway container.
So when we think about compostable packaging, the first thing that comes to mind is bioplastic. And the elephant in the room that people avoid talking about is whether a material that is supposed to be composted actually ends up being composted at the end of its life cycle. And that is very much determined by the infrastructure in the city to sustain it. And many packaging that claims to be industrially compostable doesn't end up being composted at all because there's no facilities in that city. And so we are experimenting with biodegradable and edible alternatives that can be treated as organic waste and easily composted even if you don't eat them. We designed a salad bowl made of wheat bran, which is an agricultural byproduct. And the idea behind this design is that as you eat a salad, you need, usually you have bread or breadsticks. So this container allows you to break part of the container and use it to help you as you are eating your salad. That's for the base, and the lid is formed in PHA. That's a bacteria-based material that is fully biodegradable and has properties similar to conventional plastics. However, despite advancement in biodegradable materials, it's always better to reduce first and then reuse instead of disposing or recycling. And designing for inner loops is one of the key strategies for circular design thinking.
Okay, and in the second direction, we looked at the ubiquitous reusable takeaway container that we're all very familiar with. You know, your lunch boxes, your bento boxes. So in our research on users and local culinary culture, we realized that the gestures and behaviors that exist in the Asian context are markedly different from the West, and many of the existing lunch boxes do not fulfill the needs and diversity of Asian cuisine and eating gestures. So the street food, the hawker centers, the food court, the types of dishes, how we eat, how we share, all lead to interesting insights that can inspire new product typologies. Another insight that we have is that a ubiquitous lunchbox is originally designed for food prepared at home, in the comfort of your kitchen, right? And when we look at the Asian context where food is widely and cheaply available, and many people take away from food courts and restaurants, the reusable food container actually has two uses: the consumer who carries it and the food vendor who prepares and serves the food. And so we believe that if we can design a container with the larger food service ecosystem in mind, considering both the vendor and the consumer, we can achieve wider adoption with greater impact.
And aside from material experimentation and observing the gestures and behaviors of local culinary cultures, we also study user pain points through human-centered design research methods. And one of the key points that came out was that people may have aspirations to lead a more sustainable, conscious lifestyle, but the biggest barrier for their commitment is the hassle of washing the containers after use. This applied mainly for any reusable container, anyone we interview that carries a container with them. So that's where we came up with this third direction, which is a hybrid model that has part of it is reusable and part of it is biodegradable. So it's combining the best of these two other solutions. So this kind of sums up some of the insights from this design project we are currently working on. And aside from these, in Forest&Whale, there are basically two key approaches in our design philosophy. One is to design products and systems for longevity, and the other one is that we envision future narratives, mainly for museums and cultural institutions. And we're now working on one project that I would like to share as well.
So when the pandemic shuts down travel and all international trade shows, we were actually curating an exhibition for the Design Singapore Council that is to be brought to the Milan Design Week, right? So that had to be all scrapped and rethought because all trade shows have been cancelled. And it really got us thinking, what is going to happen to exhibitions in a post-COVID era? And how are we going to stage exhibitions? How are we going to showcase design? If we do it virtually, who is the audience? Would it be the same? Would we build those connections that we usually build in trade shows virtually? And actually running right now in the National Design Center is the exhibition Vision of the Future that we have curated in response to this crisis. It showcases young design talents from Singapore with both a physical and a virtual component. In the exhibition, we also designed a pedestal that is conceptualized based on the soliton curve that marks the returning waves of virus transmission over time, which we are currently seeing the second and third waves in cities in Europe, in America, and also in Asia. And this pedestal design is also designed to ensure social distancing in an exhibition context. And this concept extends towards the exhibition identity that is made up of social distancing tape.
And I'd like to finish off by saying that as we stand in the waves of the pandemic, we believe that the role of design has never been more important than in these moments of crisis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very recently, a Korean college student developed and designed the furniture made of waste masks. Waste management system has deteriorated because of the COVID-19, and to respond to that issue, Forest&Whale is responding to create a disposable food container. Thank you for sharing your cases. Environmental issues caused by the waste requires a solution, as it is about our survival. We raise our understanding about this issue and trying to find solutions at the individual level, and you can find many relevant cases in social media. Design itself is very meaningful, but this presentation reminds us that design can be also important as a medium to help communicate with other subjects. I hope design will dedicate to make a healthier environment and society.
We're living in the post-COVID era when innovative ideas are required, so it's important for us to define the problems users face, try quickly, and repeat the process for improvement. I think this is the same for our daily lives and for business. And this is the core of our design thinking. And in this presentation, we'd like to take a look at the challenges facing the team-oriented learning environment. And I'd like to welcome Professor Ulrich Weinberg, Dean of the Design Thinking School at the Hasso Plattner Design Institute in Germany. Professor Weinberg is selected as one of the Germany's top 100 innovators by the economic magazine Handelsblatt, and he is also the honorary chairman of the Global Design Thinking Alliance, an organization that educates and researches design thinking. Let's listen to the presentation.
Yeah, hello, and welcome also from my side. I'm really happy to be a part of the Seoul Design Week in 2020, and I'm reporting here from Germany. Actually, I'm at my home office right now in Berlin, and I'm reporting about activities through the last 8 months of the HBI School of Design Thinking. Thank you very much for joining me for the 10 minutes. It's an incredible time right now. And you see that line up here, or our path, 2019, very physical, 2020, moving towards a digital learning environment, and 2021 moving into a new era, which we call the hybrid era. I'm looking forward to that. So what are we doing at the Hasso Plattner Institute with the School of Design Thinking? We are actually a sister institution of the Stanford D School, which was started about 15 years ago. We were started 13 years ago, and we have currently about 120 students covering about 70 different disciplines. So it's a kind of mini university, and we have also students from lots of different universities all around the planet. About 20 different nations are there. Usually physical, right now in a digital way. And they are all accompanied by a lot of coaches. We have a coaching team with 40 people. And the whole thing is just a 2-semester certificate program. It's not a bachelor or master in design thinking. No, it's a certificate program on purpose. We want to be a kind of prototype for the learning environment of the 21st century. So we want to experiment also with ourselves. And this is why we are focusing on fully project-based learning and fully team learning. So we appreciate a mode which we call a team of teams mode. It's not just one team learning. No, it's a group of teams cooperatively learning. And there's no individual grading, for sure. Very, very important in times we are living in right now. And our project-based learning is illustrated here with the current portfolio our students are just working on in the second semester, which we call the advanced track, which is a full semester accompanying other institutions, external institutions, like, for example, big companies like Roche, you see here, or the IEEE, International Standards Organization, or a fashion company, H&M, but even the city of Potsdam, the mayor of Potsdam with his administration was approaching us. And our student teams are collaboratively trying to solve their concrete problems. And the mode we are in, I usually describe with that little picture here with its 3 core elements, where we focus on one hand on teams, on the collaboration. I was talking about that already. So a multidisciplinary set of people. And talking about teams, I'm not talking about team of 2, it's too small. Not team of 10, it's too large. It's about usually 4, 5, 6 people covering different disciplines, hopefully also different national, different cultural backgrounds, and then tackling complex problems. Second thing is the space. We need a variable space for that. And since we didn't find furniture to address the needs of collaborative teams 13 years ago, we had to develop our own furniture together with a company called System 180, based in Berlin, a small manufacturer. And we created the design thinking line together with them, which is now up and running in hundreds of organizations all over Europe. And then we started facing Corona. And right now we are in the phase of co-developing together with System 180 hybrid collaboration environments. And you see here some prototypes. And the third thing is the iterative process. And this is what most of you know about design thinking, is the process, the 6 steps, understand, diving deep into the needs of the users, the people, defining a point of view, starting the ideation process, doing a lot of prototypes, building things with the hands, and then doing testing, and do this over and over again. And this is these 3 core elements I started calling also design thinking 4.0, because it's really addressing these severe points of digital transformation a lot of people are missing right now. The discussion about digital transformation, Industry 4.0, is most of the time very tech-driven. What we are adding with design thinking and with the School of Design Thinking, the cultural dimension of digital transformation, also the social dimension. And this is very, very important. It's not all about tech. It's also about how to work together and how to collaborate as human beings. But facing Corona, we were also facing a different challenges. So we needed to move the whole thing into a virtual world. And this is what we did. This is our triangle now of collaboration tools, because we found out it's not just one thing which helps us to maneuver in the digital world. No, we need a conferencing tool. We are using most of the time Zoom for this kind of things. We need a collaboration platform, kind of substitution for our whiteboards where we could put in our post-it notes and so on. And we are using most of the time Miro. Very, very helpful. There are others, but we were focusing on that one. And we need to share data storage to put big data, big videos, and all kinds of things onto that platform. And we are using our learning platform, the HPI, Open HPI platform, which is up and running since 7 or 8 years. But we need a lot of other tools as well, like Trello or Slack for the team collaboration, for feedback. We're using Slido, we're using software, and also Mixer Online, lots of other tools as well. And we found out it's all about how to aggregate those for our students to make their life as collaborative as possible and also creative as possible, and also the life of our team. So the whole team is working in the same environment, of course. And it's not that we are doing this alone. No, there are others accompanying us. And I'm so happy that our project partners are with us, and they are in the same situation. They are facing how to move their business in a virtual space. And coming back to the picture I showed at the beginning, the 2019, most of the businesses were based in a physical thinking environment and working environment. 2020, all of a sudden, nearly all of us needed to change, needed to move to something else, to something which was there, because most of us are using this kind of pieces of glass all the time. Yes, there is a digital world surrounding us, but we are not used to do nearly everything in a virtual space. And this is what is happening now. And we are so happy at the School of Design Thinking that we can do that. But in 2021 and further on, we'll learn from what we did in the analog world and also in the digital world, and we'll come up with something which I would call the hybrid world, or even high flex. We were taking that term, which was developed before Corona in the United States, for hybrid flexible learning environments. And I like that term, and we think it is describing what we need in the future. We will for sure not go back to 2019. And I'm pretty sure that most of our partnering organizations at the Global Design Thinking Alliance, which we started 3 years ago with 11 members in 5 continents, and now we are having 20 members, all academic institutions, training institutions, and they were facing the same thing. Our friends in China, the first, and they had to move everything into digital space. So what we try to aggregate all their learnings on the gdta.org website, and please go there and visit and see the virtual collaboration tools that we aggregated. And it's not all about collaboration, it's about facilitation, it's about to run bigger conferences, and we try to aggregate and we constantly renew the page, and we try to find all the good tools and also indicate where do we use which kind of tools mostly. So thank you very much for being with me, and thank you very much for attending the Seoul Design Week, and I'm so happy to be a part of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Among the social changes caused by the pandemic, the changes in education sector seems to be particularly marked. I was impressed by Professor Weinberg's case presentation, who is responding to unprecedented changes in our education history with the development of new learning tool, HyFlex. It was also how to bring about collaboration and collective intelligence through design thinking in this pandemic. And it's a matter about tackling the practical problems facing our way of working. It is important to find a confluence between face-to-face and non-contact methods, and what are the ground rules and how to achieve digital transformation. Of course, tools used for meetings and collaboration platforms, shared data, storage, everything is important. However, we have to remember what is the key is the attitude of the people who use the tools together. And please remember them. And once again, thank you very much for your presentation.
Continuing on, we will listen to urban designer Marc Aurel, the co-CEO of Aurel Design Urban in France. He will touch upon poetic public facilities for a better life in the city. Mr. Marc Aurel has participated in multiple design projects with major European design agencies and public institutions, and design improvement projects as well. By doing so, he has dedicated to increase the quality of life and competitiveness of the city. He is a highly recognized architect and urban designer in Europe. Let's listen to his presentation.
Marc Aurel, designer, créateur du studio Aurel Design Urbain. Notre studio explore depuis une trentaine d'années la ville, ces évolutions et plus particulièrement la relation des habitants à leur environnement urbain à travers les questions de mobilier, d'éclairage, d'espace public, mais également de mobilité urbaine. Aujourd'hui, la crise sanitaire apparaît comme un accélérateur dans la transformation urbaine, car les contraintes liées à la pandémie amènent à une nouvelle organisation de l'espace public, aujourd'hui provisoire, mais qui pourrait, d'une certaine manière, devenir pérenne. Nous avons vu des terrasses de café se développer sur des espaces de stationnement, des rues devenir piétonnes, des gabarits de boulevards se modifier pour intégrer des pistes cyclables, des végétalisations et appropriations d'espaces de stationnement et des rues. Même notre relation au mobilier urbain est modifiée. Nous ne nous asseyons plus côte à côte sur un banc, mais distanciés, ce qui annonce certainement une évolution vers des assises individuelles. Nos modes de déplacement urbain ont eux aussi considérablement changé, avec une augmentation de plus de 50% de l'utilisation du vélo dans Paris et malheureusement une réduction de 20% des déplacements en transport commun collectif. Autant de transformations, de modifications de nos habitudes, de nos modes de vie qui commencent à s'inscrire dans la durée et qui pourraient modifier considérablement notre manière de vivre la ville. Ce qui apparaît donc, c'est que la crise sanitaire fonctionne comme un révélateur, car elle met en évidence certains dysfonctionnements urbains et nous contraint à y répondre sur des temps extrêmement courts. La chute de fréquentation des transports collectifs est réellement significative de ce changement, car depuis plus de 20 ans, les pouvoirs publics ont pris conscience qu'il fallait envisager autrement nos déplacements urbains afin de réduire l'impact de la voiture en ville et redonner de l'espace aux piétons. Cela a mené au développement de réseaux de bus, de lignes de métro et de réseaux de tramway. Cela en France, mais également dans toute l'Europe. Mais aujourd'hui, nous nous rendons compte que les actions engagées ces dernières années s'avèrent insuffisantes pour modifier nos comportements. Effectivement, la crise sanitaire nous amène à penser, à voir les choses différemment et à aller à l'essentiel en mettant davantage au centre de nos réflexions l'homme, la femme, l'habitant, dans sa qualité de vie, son bien-être, dans sa relation à la ville. Le rôle du designer s'exprime alors à l'échelle de l'individu, de sa relation aux objets, afin de créer les meilleures conditions d'une relation épanouie à l'environnement. En 2012, à Paris, face à la gare de Lyon, nous avons réalisé avec la RATP et la ville de Paris un abribus expérimental. Ce projet s'inscrivait dans un programme d'études européen, EBSF, qui visait à valoriser la perception de l'image du bus auprès des citoyens. Sous cet abribus passaient 6000 personnes par jour. Le premier service qu'on a souhaité rendre a été de créer une toiture de 35 mètres carrés et non de 6 mètres carrés comme d'habitude sur un espace de bus, et un plancher de 80 mètres carrés, soit un espace suffisamment dimensionné pour accueillir les voyageurs de manière confortable. Cette station augmentée était ouverte sur la ville, enrichie de fonctions qui allaient au-delà des besoins liés au transport. Il y avait des fonctions pour les riverains, pour les passants, et d'autres pour les voyageurs. Nous y avons installé de l'information transport, des services à information sur le quartier, un corner pour les commerces ambulants qui venaient vendre le matin, le soir ou l'après-midi du café, des journaux, des sandwichs ou également des plats à emporter. Nous y avons installé également une bibliothèque en libre-service et des vélos assistance électrique. Et enfin, un travail sophistiqué a été réalisé sur l'éclairage qui se modifiait tout au long de la journée pour faire que, même de nuit, cet abri soit extrêmement qualitatif et sécurisé. Ce projet éphémère a duré 18 mois d'expérimentation où nous avons démontré qu'un abribus pouvait aller au-delà de ses fonctions de base et qu'il pouvait être un lieu d'accueil de qualité capable de dialoguer avec la ville, avec le quartier, qu'il pouvait valoriser l'expérience du voyageur, mais aussi des riverains. Nous avons fait passer l'abribus d'un statut d'objet à celui d'un nouvel espace public dédié à tous. À la suite de cette expérimentation, la ville de Manchester nous a sollicité pour les mêmes raisons, qualifier et rendre attractifs les espaces d'attente du bus. Pour ce projet, nous avons également eu une approche contextuelle dans la configuration de l'abri, avec la gestion des flux pour une relation enrichie vers la ville. Nous avons intégré de nombreux services d'information, de connexion et recharge téléphone. Cette approche contextuelle, nous l'avons traduite également dans le dessin et la matérialité de l'abri, afin de créer un dialogue entre l'abri et l'environnement architectural de Manchester. La toiture, aux formes souples et organiques, est entièrement plantée sur le dessus. Sa sous-face est, elle, habillée en bois sombre. Un motif émaillé comme une tapisserie recouvre l'ensemble des parois de verre, composant ainsi des espaces d'attente, soit orientés vers la ville, soit orientés vers la rue. Comme Osmose, de nuit, un éclairage met en valeur le motif des parois, créant une ambiance apaisée, proche de l'univers domestique. À la suite de ces expériences, nous avons réalisé un projet d'abribus pour Paris, tout en souplesse, comme une feuille d'arbre posée sur des branches, en résonance avec les arbres des grands boulevards parisiens. Nous y avons appliqué certains principes d'Osmose et de Manchester, comme la relation enrichie de l'abri à son environnement, en proposant une trentaine de configurations possibles en fonction des sites d'implantation. En changeant quelques pièces de l'abri, il s'ouvre, se ferme sur son environnement. Les toitures s'assemblent, se superposent pour augmenter la capacité d'accueil. Le mobilier d'assises sort de l'abri pour s'approprier l'espace du trottoir à proximité. Comme pour Osmose, de nombreux services connectés facilitent l'information voyageur avec la création d'un totem signalétique qui, aujourd'hui, est devenu symbole d'une nouvelle mobilité parisienne. Aujourd'hui, l'enjeu de nos villes est donc bien d'optimiser le confort des habitants, de proposer de nouveaux services. Il faut pour cela concevoir des systèmes d'objets, des mobiliers répondant à ces nouvelles attentes, mais il nous faut également développer leur valeur émotionnelle, leur amabilité, par un travail sophistiqué des matières et des formes. Le rôle du designer est bien là de participer à mieux vivre la ville et au mieux vivre ensemble. Notre rôle consiste aussi à inventer des scénarios pour que le projet s'exerce sur le territoire de l'imaginaire, de créer de nouvelles fictions qui viendront se mêler à l'épaisseur du réel.
Thank you for your presentation. Rapidly changing our lifestyle have brought another changes in urban planning and urban design, and Marc Aurel's presentation is about how to respond to such changes in the public design. While maintaining the core function, new bus station delivers new requirements, and that is very impressive.
So we received a question from YouTube, and it's nice that the bus station has expanded for its functions, but we can't gather in one small space. But what kind of alternatives that we have, and can we solve our problems through hardwares? It's important that we stick to the rules. Once again, thank you very much for your presentation. Now, let's listen to the next presentation. Due to the sudden change in our daily life with the acceleration of the non-face-to-face contact, the socially disadvantaged people are going through the most difficult times. So Professor Lee Jang-seop of the Department of Design at Seoul National University aims to respond to various community problems by planning and executing problem-solving solutions that can be practically applied. And in this process, he is actively engaged in practical training. And Professor Lee Jang-seop, with the title of the Social Design Projects to Innovate the Society in the Contactless Era, will be followed.
안녕하세요. 오늘 서울 디자인 위크 온라인 포럼에 초대해 주셔서 감사합니다. 저는 서울대학교 디자인학부 이장섭입니다. 저는 우리가 지금 함께 겪고 있는 코로나 시대에 디자인 대학과 지역사회가 어떻게 사회혁신을 위한 디자인 협업을 진행하고 있는가에 대한 프로젝트를 사례로 발표하겠습니다. 오늘 이 발표에서 사회혁신을 위한 디자인 협업은 소셜 디자인이라고 부르겠습니다. 오늘 준비한 이 내용은 밀라노 공대 에치오 만지니 교수님이 사회혁신을 위한 SLOC 디자인 시나리오와 많은 부분 일치합니다. 작고 지역적이고 협력을 기반으로 하고 있는 프로젝트의 사례가 될 것입니다. 저희 학교가 속해 있는 관악구를 배경으로 지금 진행되고 있는 돌봄 도시락 소셜 디자인 프로젝트를 소개하겠습니다. 올해 8월에 시작된 지금 이 프로젝트는 지금 오늘 발표하고 있는 오늘까지도 진행되고 있는 현재 진행형의 프로젝트고요. 저희는 이 과정을 소셜 디자인 프로세스로 정리를 해보았습니다. 우리는 코로나 시대에 더 소외되고 계신 분들에 더 주목하면서 이 프로젝트를 시작했습니다. 그 중에서도 지금 사진에 보이고 계시는 집에서 혼자 지내시고 계시는 어르신들의 기본적인 식사에 더 주목을 했습니다. 서울시도 이 문제에 동일한 문제에 공감하여 돌봄이 긴급하게 필요한 분들을 위한 긴급 돌봄 SOS 센터를 운영하고 있고요. 거기에는 식사 지원 서비스도 있습니다. 사진에서 보시는 것처럼 제조업체에서 차량으로 실제 도시락이 필요하신 분들에게 비대면으로 도시락을 배송하고 있습니다. 돌봄 도시락이라고 부르는데요. 저희는 이 돌봄 도시락 배송 과정에 간단한 커뮤니티 케어가 더해질 수 있으면 얼마나 좋을까라고 하는 질문을 던졌습니다. 저희 모두 이 코로나 시대에 이 이웃의 안부를 묻는 게 얼마나 어려워졌고 그렇지만 얼마나 중요한지에 대해서 잘 알고 있습니다. 비대면 일상화가 사회적 약자분들의 더 고립을 만들게 되는 지금 상황에서 커뮤니티 케어는 점점 더 어려워지고 있는데요. 이 어려워진 상황에서 도시락과 커뮤니티 케어가 더해지면 좋겠다라는 그 질문을 지역사회와 함께 던졌습니다. 그리고 이 앞선 질문과 함께 또 하나의 외면되고 있는 중요한 문제는 일회용기 사용의 증가입니다. 일회용 플라스틱 쓰레기 문제를 그냥 모른 척하고 넘어갈 수는 없겠다라고 하는 게 저희가 던졌던 두 번째 의제였습니다. 공공배송의 돌봄 도시락만이라도 이 다회용기 사용으로 전환될 수는 없을까라고 하는 질문을 함께 던졌습니다. 그리고 이러한 문제의식에 공감한 이 관악구 내에 있는 인근의 지역의 이해관계자들을 모아봤습니다. 네, 지금 여기 보이는 분들이 저희 학교의 팀이고요. 저희 학교와 사회적경제센터가 주축이 돼서 지역 내에서 돌봄 도시락을 만드는 두 곳의 사회적 기업, 그리고 지역 내의 공공배송에 관심이 있는 한 곳의 협동조합이 함께 시작계의 팀을 이뤘습니다. 그리고 우리는 이 과정을 지역사회에다 공개하면서 열려있는 컨소시엄으로 시작을 했습니다. 저희의 이 프로젝트가 알려지면서 이 주제에 공감하는 공공배송 전문가 그리고 사회복지 전문가들이 이 컨소시엄에 더 조인을 하게 되었습니다. 되게 좀 신나고 고무적으로 되는 순간들이었습니다. 서울대학교 팀은 이 본격적인 리서치 과정에서 실제 진행되고 있던 도시락의 배송 과정을 그대로 따라다니는 쉐도잉 과정을 함께 따라하고, 그리고 직접 배송의 주체가 돼보는 경험을 적극적인 필드 리서치를 진행을 했습니다. 과정에서 생길 수 있는 많은 접점들을 모두 다 인터랙티브의 요소라고 생각을 하고 잘 기록을 해뒀고요. 그리고 저희가 제안하는 아이디어가 초기의 아이디어에 이제 매몰되지 않기 위해서 지금의 공공배송에서 언급되는 많은 트렌디한 이슈들을 스터디를 했습니다. 거점, 도보배송, 그리고 기술을 기반으로 하고 있는 많은 푸드테크에 대한 공부를 병행했습니다. 이렇게 실제 배송에 대한 현장 경험을 기반으로 최신의 어떤 트렌드들도 다 이해하면서 저희가 이제 가장 집중했던 과정은 이미 공공배송에서 생겨지고 있는 이러한 것들은 이래서 어려울 거야 라고 하는 인식의 틀을 좀 벗어나는 것이었습니다. 저희는 이 과정을 해체의 단계라고 불렀는데요. 사회 문제를 해결하기 위한 많은 소셜 디자인 프로세스에서 가장 중요한 과정이 아닐까 생각을 합니다. 비대면 배송에서 커뮤니티 케어가 더해지기는 어려울 거다라고 이미 생각이 들고 있는 이 단계에서 저희는 이 전제부터 부정하면서 시작을 했습니다. 그리고 이어서 아이디어를 최종적으로 도출하는 과정까지 기존에 형성되고 있는 많은 편견과 규칙들을 깨트리면서 많은 질문들을 던졌습니다. 5개의 간단한 질문으로 구성되어 있는 이 커뮤니티 케어가 과연 진짜 케어가 될 수 있을까라는 질문은 아무리 기초적인 질문이라도 누적되는 데이터가 된다면 이거는 분명히 커뮤니티 케어의 지표가 될 수 있겠다라는 아이디어로 제시를 했습니다. 그리고 이런 공공 서비스는 당연히 선진화된 앱이랑 병행되어야 된다라는 의견들이 있었지만 작은 규모의 실험으로 시작될 경우에 전통적인 카드의 형식으로도 가능하다라는 아이디어로 좀 맞섰습니다. 비전문가가 도대체 이 배송을 할 수 있을 거냐라고 하는 질문에 대해서는 오히려 본인이 정말로 잘 알고 있는 이 로컬의 지역 배송에 있어서는 오히려 더 장점이 될 수 있고 도보 배송으로도 가능하다라는 아이디어로 제시를 했습니다. 그리고 가장 어려웠던 단계였는데요. 다회용기 사용에 대해서는 도시락을 만드는 제조의 주체나 그리고 실제로 도시락을 설거지를 하셔야 되는 새로운 일이 생기는 어르신들 모두 이 귀찮음을 극복하지 못하고 어려워질 것이다라는 예측이 있었지만 도시락 제조업체에는 시간이 지날수록 경제적인 이득이 생기는 것이고 그리고 실제로 도시락을 드시는 어르신들의 입장에서도 일상의 작은 운동으로 생각을 전환하게 된다면 어떨까라는 아이디어로 제시를 했습니다. 이런 아이디어들이 이제 전문가들로 구성된 컨소시엄에는 이런 기존의 관습이랑은 다른 이 아이디어들을 모두 차분히 검토해주는 아주 좋은 과정이 있었습니다. 그래서 이 검토의 과정을 거쳐서 우선은 이번 프로젝트에서만큼은 다회용기 사용을 한번 실험적으로 시도해보자 라고 하는 합의에 이르렀습니다. 그리고 이 다회용기의 사용이 결정적인 아이디어로 이어지게 됐는데요. 다회용기를 사용한다는 것은 도시락이 어르신들에게 갔다가 다시 제조업체로 돌아온다라는 과정이 생기는데요. 이 과정을 생각해 보면은 셀프 체크리스트를 만약에 도시락에 접목을 한다면 어르신들의 정보가 오고 갈 수 있다라는 아이디어로 이어지게 됩니다. 그래서 이 아이디어를 이제 확정을 짓고 구현을 한 단계로 넘어갔습니다. 어떠한 질문을 던질 거냐라는 부분에 대해서는 또다시 전문가들과 협의하에 5가지의 질문으로 구체화가 됐습니다. 어쩌면은 따스한 일상의 안부와도 같은 5개의 질문인데요. 실제로 이 질문은 기초 건강, 식사, 그리고 대외 활동, 그리고 심리 안정도까지 체크가 가능하게 되고 누적된 데이터가 이상이 있을 경우에는 전문적인 밀착 케어로 이어지게 됩니다. 이제 생각했던 아이디어를 정말 현실화하기 위해서 더 적극적으로 디자이너들은 이 시나리오를 시각화를 하게 됐습니다. 그리고 같이 참여하는 이해관계자들도 생각만 하던 것들을 눈앞에 그려내면서 아이디어에 대한 확신을 가지게 되고 결국 전체적인 컨소시엄에서는 시너지가 높아지는 결정적인 단계가 됩니다. 그리고 더 전문적인 시각화 과정으로도 이어지는데요. 어르신분들 중에는 글을 읽지 못하는 분들도 계시기 때문에 그림으로 질문이 표현해야 된다라는 또 다른 과제를 받게 돼서 이러한 부분에 대한 스터디를 진행하고, 할머니, 할아버지 모두가 이 안부 카드를 접했을 때 나에 대한 질문이다라는 걸 공감하기 위해서 어떠한 것이 더 성중립적인 일러스트냐에 대한 이러한 아주 작은 부분까지도 신경을 많이 쓰는 과정이 있었습니다. 그런 과정을 거쳐서 5개의 질문이 지금처럼 그림으로 시각화된 안부 카드, 셀프 체크리스트가 완성이 되었습니다. 이 준비를 하는 과정과 병행해서 저희는 일회용기를 잘 대체할 수 있는 다회용기로 준비를 하고, 식사가 배송 중에 흔들리지 않게 하기 위해서 사이즈가 꼭 맞는 도시락 가방을 준비하고, 이 안부 카드는 따스한 인사로 전해줄 수 있게 보시는 것처럼 원단으로 제작을 하기로 결정을 했습니다. 이러한 준비를 다 마치고 실제로 관악구의 한계동에서 시범 사업을 진행할 수 있게 되었습니다. 그리고 저희가 구체적으로 세워놨던 시나리오와 그대로 거점까지는 차량으로 이송이 돼서 거점에서부터는 담당자가 마을을 걸어서 배송을 하게 되고, 처음 어르신들과 만나게 되는 그 순간에만 직접 대면을 해서 설명을 해드리고, 그 이후에는 대면을 최소화하면서 도시락을 매개로 안부 카드를 통한 셀프 체크리스트가 왔다 갔다 하게 됩니다. 이제 과연 어르신들이 이러한 새로운 이 관계에 그대로 응해 주실 수 있을까라는 의문도 계속 제기가 됐는데요. 실제로 사업이 시작되고 지금 이제 3주가 지난 지금 시점에서 95% 이상의 안부 카드가 잘 회수가 되고 있습니다. 회수된 안부 카드는 보시는 것처럼 개인화된 정보가 관리가 되고 있고요. 처음의 시나리오대로 기준 이상의 부정적인 신호로 감지가 되면은 돌봄 매니저가 전문 의료진을 보내드리거나 아니면 심리 상담으로 이어지는 밀착 케어를 진행하게 됩니다. 지금 이제 시범 사업이 정리되어 가고 있는 이제 지금 시점에서는 이 실험 모델이 확장을 필요로 합니다. 그래서 확장을 하는 단계에는 자동화를 위한 앱이 필요하겠다는 생각으로 이어졌고, 서울시의 적극적인 제안을 위해서 앱을 디자인하고 있습니다. 이 앱을 사용하게 되면 배송 담당자는 스케줄과 동선을 훨씬 쉽게 파악하고, 지금은 수기로 진행되지만 사진 한 컷을 촬영하는 걸로 자동적으로 저장이 되고, 저장 이후에는 모니터링 되면서 자동으로 후속 조치가 연계되는 형식입니다. 긍정적으로 평가되고 있는 이 시범 사업이 관악구 내에서는 향후에 한 개의 동으로 더 확대돼서 시범 사업을 이어가기로 결정이 됐고요. 이 결과는 서울시에 잘 제안해서 앞으로 서울시 전 역에 다 확대돼서 진행이 되는 것을 목표로 하고 있습니다. 네, 지금까지 저희 대학이 지역사회와 함께하고 있는 소셜 디자인의 하나의 사례를 살펴보았는데요. 지역의 전문가들이랑 함께하고 있는 이 컨소시엄에서 저희 디자인 대학의 역할은 첫 시작점이 됐던 기존에 생각지 않았던 지점에서 창의적 질문을 전달하고, 바뀌기 어렵다고 생각했던 그런 규칙들에서 그런 것들을 다 한번 뒤흔들어 보면서 새로운 아이디어를 이끌어내고, 이 아이디어가 정말로 우리 눈앞에서 가능해지도록 시각화시키고, 그리고 우리가 열심히 움직여서 정말로 사회에서 구현될 수 있는 이러한 중요한 역할들을 담당하고 있었습니다. 그리고 이 경험을 코로나 시대에 지역사회와 대학의 역할로 확대를 해본다면, 대학은 더 적극적으로 캠퍼스를 지역사회로 확대하고 현실의 문제를 함께 다루게 되는 과정으로 이어지고 싶습니다. 지금 이 위기 시대에 정말로 필요로 하는 디자인 대학의 능력은 공감과 사회적 감수성이 아닐까 생각을 해보게 됩니다. 그리고 이 과정에서 대학은 사회가 이미 갖고 있었던 이런 전형과 규범에 다시 생각할 수 있는 이 대담한 질문을 던져야 하는 것이라고 생각을 합니다. 이제 발표를 마무리하려고 하는데요. 코로나 시대의 소셜 디자인에 대해서 생각을 해본다면은 우리가 그동안 배워서 익힌 많은 이 디자인 능력을 모두 동원해서 돌봄을 필요로 하는 정말 이 사회의 작고 일상적인 문제들을 틈새가 분명히 있을 겁니다. 그 틈새에 파고들어서 학교가 아닌 진짜 사회 속에서 집요하게 그 가능성을 찾아내는 일이라고 생각을 해봤습니다. 네, 저희는 앞으로도 이 지역사회 안에서 대학의 역할을 잘 실천해 나가겠습니다. 모든 분들 앞으로도 건강하시길 바라겠고요. 저는 오늘의 발표를 마치겠습니다. 긴 시간 들어주셔서 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Professor Lee. He was very warm, and about saying hello to our community was such a warm message, and we were able to hear Social Innovation Project. And recently, designers' activities have also stood out in the social impact area. And I can see that universities are leading in problem solving with the original community. It was such a meaningful project. And this is the very reason why both the design and the university exist. And I hope more community projects like this will be carried out to make our society warmer.
So far, we have listened to 6 different presentations. First up, we listened to the keynote speech of public design, value of design, the value of design that comfort everyday life, and the public design and industrial design cases in the era of a pandemic, and the service design and urban design and social design in the non-contact era. The creative director of Japan CCC described today as BC and AC, which stands for before COVID and after COVID, to talk about changes. It is really rare for the whole world to experience the same crisis at the same time. It is unprecedented, so it is all the more difficult for all of us, but as always, design finds chance from crisis. I believe in the power of design. Instead of design to show off, but design take care of our lives and everyone not to be left behind. So design can comport people and become solutions to our issues. And not only the 6 speakers, but also all the audiences, I sincerely wish all of you believe in the power of design and keep developing design practices and cases in your lives. And now I'd like to invite all 6 speakers to share their opinions of a new design trend in the post-COVID-19 era. And there will be common questions to all speakers and another set of questions which will go to specific speakers. As mentioned earlier, audiences, please leave your comment and questions in the corner of the screen, then we will respond to them as much as possible. Before we begin with, I will introduce the speakers one more time. And speakers, if your name is mentioned, please wave your hand to greet the audience. First up, keynote speaker Ms. Caroline Naphegyi, WDC Program Director. Hello. Please wave your hand. Thank you. And Ms. Juliana Buso, Centro Brazil Design Project Manager. Great to see you. And Mr. Gustavo Maggio, co-founder of Forest&Whale. Great to see you. And Mr. Ulrich Weinberg, Dean of Hasso Platinum Design Institute. Happy to see you. And last but not least, Professor Jang of Seoul National University. Welcome. So a total of 5 speakers, and including myself, 6 in total, are making the live discussions. And Mr. Marc Aurel, who make a presentation of urban design, can't make it today for personal reason. Please bear with us. We have collected questions in advance via social media. And so many people have participated. And your questions help us understand what concerns you have in the COVID-19 and what work we need to do. Let me just ask a couple of questions first to the speakers. Related to the post-COVID, there are a lot of questions. The first question goes to every speaker. So this question goes to every and all speakers. As non-contact has become new normal, it is time to think about new environment and new design for working at home and studying at home, and what attitude designers should have and what values they have to have facing these new normal. That's the first question. And to this question, let's start with Caroline Naphegyi to respond it, and it will go to every speaker. Please give us a short answer.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. So in the context of the COVID, all barrier gestures, regulations, social distancing, uncertainty about the future, all these factors influence our share of humanity. So my sense is the main value that designers can bring to society is how we can create more human a more human environment. So it's really crucial in that context. So recreate solidarity, opportunities for sociability, to reconnect and facilitate contact in real, not digital. Thinking about the city on a more human scale, more suitable for children and the elderly, with more gardens, more space for social mixing, to bring certain population out of isolation, to use bicycle and invention, a new usage to be shared, a more collaborative city, more inclusive in its design. And the other value would be to create environment more respectful for nature, a design that reduces the distance between production and consumption and allows production to be relocated. From this point of view, the designers has a decisive role to play in recreating production units in the heart of the cities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we need to restore the humanity, and also we need to make design where we can coexist. Now I'd like to ask the same question to Ms. Buso.
Okay, hello everyone. Here in Brazil is really, really early. Of course, we have to see the human point, and design is always about people. We design for people. So I think the value that design can bring to these all situations is focus on the user, and of course focus on happiness, engagement, adoption, retention, task success, and to check and to see the needs of the users in each situation. Here in Brazil, we are facing a lot of problems, and of course we have to be empathy with people. And of course, I agree with Caroline that we have to focus on human necessity. I think this is the most valuable thing that design can deliver for people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And the user and ultimately the environment around the people should be responded very carefully and sensitively. That's the main point of her. Let's move to Mr. Gustavo Maggio. Would you please answer the question?
Okay, hi everyone. First, thanks for having me here today. It's a pleasure. I'm going to repeat some of the topics mentioned by Caroline and Juliana. I think as a designers, we kind of have a similar idea of some of these topics. But I just want to emphasize on a few things. I think designers are generally well equipped with a set of human-centered research tools and processes that I feel have become even more critical in these times because of the rapid change due to the pandemic. And having this ability to identify changes in behavior and be able to rethink the environment and the objects that are around us is what designers actually have always done. And maybe in this period it's even more important that we go through this process. And another very important role for designers during COVID-19 and after is to be guardians of sustainable practices. Usually when we go through a period of crisis, the environment is not a top priority. And in many cases, we fall back into less sustainable practices and behaviors. If you look, for example, at food, the amount of single-use packaging waste that is now being generated is alarming. So we need to create convenient and appealing alternatives so that end consumers, as well as food businesses, can generate less waste and hopefully at the same time reduce carbon footprint. Thanks.
Thank you very much. That right. It is important that we know, but also we need to action to make our environment sustainable. Thank you very much for your comment. So it is important for us to have a fresh perspective and also fresh approaches. And now I'd like to ask Mr. Weinberg. The same question goes to Professor.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things. Yeah, hello and welcome also again from my side. I allowed myself to have a little bit of a Christmas look because that is what I'm missing outside. I'm spending most of the time inside. And I think a lot of things are said already. I see a big responsibility of the designers, especially in the times we are in right now, to support leaders in organizations in a different way. So they are moving towards something, and they are based on numbers, they are based on on predictions through others. And what I found out when the crisis started in Germany, that was about March, the leaders of our university, they were still relying outside. They were not listening to the people inside of the organization. They were just looking at the decisions of the politicians, and a lot of leaders in the industry were doing the same. And the design people around myself, the design department, we are just one department in a technical university, in a highly IT-based university. So and a fact-based university, in fact. But if you look at how the reaction was, I think the designers in the design thinking school, they were reacting the fastest on human needs. They were actually looking at, we were questioning ourselves, we were asking the people, how do you think about your health? How do you think about your way to the work? Is that healthy? How are your kids? And these kind of questions we were asking. And based on those questions, we were taking decisions. We were saying, we have to act. And this is something, the closeness to the people, to the users, to the humans, designers have somehow by nature. That is something which now can play a big role to support leaders in making human decisions and not just decisions based on some facts, because the facts are changing so fast. If I look at the numbers in Germany, now tomorrow we are facing the second tough lockdown after a soft lockdown before, which didn't work. And the leaders were thinking or hoping it will work, but they were not listening enough to concerned people. And I think there is a new role we can play. And that is something which can sustain also after COVID. We have to play another more supportive role to leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, so we need to listen to internal voices as well as external voices. We need to ask questions to ourselves. And thank you very much for sharing your comments. Yes, we are all connected and we are stakeholders in different environments. So we need to be multifaceted. We need to tackle one by one. And thank you for sharing your wonderful opinion. And I'd like to ask question to Professor Lee. So thank you for sharing your idea through presentation. So the same question goes to Professor Lee. Right, let me answer the question. I think we are going through the same stage, and starting from me as a designer, by going through the COVID-19 early this year, I was quite strained because I regretted what roles can designers play as designers. But we can't be just sitting or being stressed. We are given this COVID-19 situation, but I, roll up my sleeves and I connected this community, this issue with the community. So through this regional community, we realize that there are great potentials. And as I learned from many cases from the other countries, that we're connected. And in this era, there are small problems that we need to tackle, but this doesn't remain as one issue. And this issue can be solved through many approaches. And if we aggregate the small changes, then although one change can be small, but it can be effective, it can be practical, and it can be transformed into a very practical and a big wave. Although it's a small change, and it will open a bigger world for us. And there are the roles required for creative people like us. So we need to make changes required in the times that we are living. So we have to go back to focus on small issues that we face. Thank you very much for Professor Lee. So in this connected era that we are living this era together. So this is not all about, this is not only about our issues, but the issues that the world is facing. So rather than trying to tackling grand issues, that we can start tackling small things in our daily lives. Now let's go to another question. Let me see that what kind of question goes to which presenter. So now the next question goes to Professor Lee once again. This question is from the YouTube. So this question to Professor Lee. As we enter the aging era, the design industry for the elderly seems to be developing. Can you share with us some examples? I think the COVID situation has changed the lives of the people, especially the disabled people and the elderly. So what design changes will happen in the COVID-19, especially post-COVID era? What are the design changes you will see? Yeah, I'm also looking at the chatting box, and I'm sorry that I noticed that there was some volume problem, a connection problem from my end. Sorry for that. I'd like to think about the post-COVID era. Then our generations will grow older, and this phenomenon will not only be in Korea, but also in the globe. Then this will be a time, there will be a age coming that we have to think about the values of the humankind, and we have to better take care of the elderly and also the young people. And the designs that we have to pursue are, as you could find from my presentation, the answer lies in the community, and the direction is community design and healthcare design services. There are many areas we can use IT technologies, and there must be following administrative tasks that we need to follow. So the designers like us have to catch up with the changes of the industry, but at the same time, we need to emphasize with the people. Thank you. I can see that Professor Lee's connection is sometimes dropped, and please understand. This is actually the first time that we are meeting together. I checked the volume before many, many times. However, I'd like to apologize for any inconvenience that this audio dropping occurring. But I could see that his mouth and I could see the meaning from his mouth shape. I was able to read his lips. So he shared us good examples, and he mentioned about comprehensive designs. The OECD releases tolerance indices, and the discussions that we are having today are about tolerance. We need to emphasize with many people, and we need to embrace many people with design. Thank you.
And next question goes to Mr. Maggio Gustavo and Ms. Juliana Buso. The question goes like this. These days, more people are working at home, and it's new to almost all, and they need new furnitures and new tools to do some working at home. And is there any industrial design cases to enhance the efficiency of working at home? And how do you think about the possibility of design to develop to compensate with it? And Mr. Maggio, would you respond it first?
Sure. In the furniture industry, we see an interesting trend where office furniture companies are now having a higher demand coming from home customers. And on the other end, we see home furniture companies that start to offer products that are targeted towards work and productivity. And this is a kind of an interesting crossover of two traditionally different industries or sub-industries. And I think it opens many opportunities for product designers, furniture designers, and interior designers. We are currently developing a new collection for a home furniture company. And due to the work from home regulations, there are many new use case scenarios that we have to consider, from using office chairs with dining tables that have a lot of problems to using dining chairs for very long hours. There are a lot of new uses that require design ergonomic changes that at the same time result in new aesthetic that is grounded in functional needs. So I think for designers, it's a very unique moment, and there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of needs for new designs that come out to respond to the changes in lifestyle.
Thank you for your answer. And the synergy between the existing product can find another chances. Instead of making all furnitures and tools developed by a single company or industry, they can collaborate with other industry to improve better product and design. So when it comes to producing new product, we have to listen carefully to the requirements of the new era. I think that is the core message. After the COVID-19, very soon, IKEA and other living and office furniture companies were fully packed up with new product and the people who want to buy that product. And I believe there will be more new products in the future too. People are strained in the home and they need to work at home. Then what kind of possibilities we can find from industrial design, and what kind of possibilities designers can see? And Ms. Juliana, would you please answer this question?
Yes, for sure. I think I agree with Gustavo that for designers is a huge opportunity. Here we are having some industries that are developing together with designers flexible products, so people can have one product that this product do that this furniture does a lot of things. For example, there are a table that a company here from the south of Brazil developed that is for kids, but the table grows together with people. So if the dad or mom needs to work, you can adjust the table and you can use it as a office table. You can adjust the height, the size. So we are having a lot of flexible products, and I think people are adapting to have it. And some companies, they borrow the furniture, the office furniture, they bring to the people's home. This is a very, very nice thing too. But I think we companies are looking for it. So we have a lot of office companies doing flexible furniture to use at home. And a lot of people a lot of offices are borrow this furniture to people that are at home, and they are delivered this furniture. So now we have entire buildings unoccupied in Brazil, and some companies, they say that the home office working so good that they will not come back to the building. So people will stay home. I don't know for a long time. So we need to adapt to this reality.
Thank you. So the speakers have answered, and I think these answers are quite connected. And these designs are not that new. Maybe they are new, but in some context, they are adjusted. So we can reinterpret the design, existing designs. Thank you very much for your answer.
And next question goes to Ms. Caroline Naphegyi. And actually, there are many related questions. And let me just ask this question. Because of the COVID-19, many people suffer from the sense of depression, and I have no idea how can I survive this crisis without any hope. And we have to find some comfort in the city environment. And where can we find some positive changes in the urban design? Can you please answer the question?
Yes, thank you for your question. My sense is that, again, humanity will make the most valuable tool to connect people together and to maybe optimize spaces that has not find the usage, and to invent a new usage connecting the people from a neighborhood, for instance. So, because my sense is that we will face a huge economic crisis after this lockdown, and that we better optimize what we have by recreating with humanity, with bringing people together, citizens, but also, as Professor Weinberg said previously, to really influence the politics, to understand that people can also have ideas, and how we can bring these ideas to real by connecting people together with designers, with philosophers, with thinkers, and to recreate usage in different locations in the city. So I would say that the question is not whether we invent a bench or what is the furniture to invent, but more to think together what would be the usage that will bring people together. Maybe it's a garden, maybe it's a farm, maybe it's a furniture, maybe, I don't know. But I think it's really the key of the future.
Thank you. I think that's very important thing.
since that it is a panel discussion, may I add an idea, because I was listening to you, and I agree with most of you. One of the big challenges we are facing right now at our learning environment is how to set up a hybrid environment, how to set up something which is connecting people who are online with offline people in an eye-level way. So that is not there. There is a huge design challenge, and I see that is coming up not only for learning environments, but also for working environments. And I'm, as a teacher, as a professor, I'm a part of a learning environment, and I see the daily we are missing technologies, we are missing right designs, which are actually connecting people in a right way. And I think connectivity is the key thing for us as designers and design thinkers for the next month and probably years, to bring the right way of connectivity in the digital and analog world and connect both. Thanks.
Thank you for adding with your comment. Yes, it's true that there are physical environment and also the online environment. We have to consider both. So we have to take care of each other, and also Ms. Caroline said that the solidarity is also important. So we're living in this hybrid world, and we need to better connect with more people, whether it's analog or whether it's digital. We should not create a gap. So when we design, we have to think about the people who are living there, who are staying there, and how they're connected. We should make sure our connectivity is not broken. And this is the role that designers can take together. And there are many things that we can do as designers. So we're not only designing things, that we are also thinking about the space where people are connected, and these can be our final products. We are under COVID blue, and many people have commented that I'm under COVID blue, but we have to endure it. And the people who are joining us are designers or designers to be. But this is our role, to be good designers. And now I'd like to ask the last question. And this last question goes to Professor Weinberg. We are under stress, but we still need to we need to relieve our stress. But can we, what kind of design can we use? Are there some designs that we can reduce our anxiety or stress, Professor? Professor Weinberg?
Oh, there are probably a lot of answers to this question, and from my perspective, I think most important is that we bring together different minds, and we also for the solution of the big challenge we are facing right now with the Corona crisis. I don't see enough collaboration of very, very different minds in a creative setting, not just in a traditional kind of old-fashioned setting. And this is something I would encourage all, not only the political leaders, but also leaders in organizations, and also the community leaders, the mayors, and looking into the families, get together different minds and discuss with different perspectives possible solutions, and start thinking more and designing, actually creating something with your hands. That is, we are so reduced right now to this kind of Excel sheet of people which are seeing themselves I see that in a daily base. I feel myself really a little bit in a prison, look at the little squares and rectangles we are in right now. And we have to relieve ourselves out of these these kind of thinking prisons. And that is the easiest way to do is to connect with people, try to get a piece of paper again, try to get some pen and try to draw something, try to imagine some solutions and do this collectively, collaboratively, not just alone, and do it in a way that is physical. And it's, for me, it's so relieving also to not just be in a digital environment all the time, even if we are offering ourselves, our team and also our students, highly interactive, creative environments. But I'm actually looking forward to 2021, to after Corona times, when we are able to physically gather again. And but back to collaborative issues, and bring the thinking of every designers and make that open to others, make that open to people who don't feel at all creative and who don't feel with their business, who actually feel a little bit alone right now. But I think we can offer something. We can offer a tool set. We can offer creative methods and activities which are encouraging a lot of people to get out of their thinking prison and move forward with their own business, get new ideas. We are currently, it's my last sentence, we are currently doing a highly interesting project together with a band, with a music band. And they are out of business. They cannot perform. They are not on stage since 1 year now, nearly 1 year. So, and playing on a stage is their thing, and they have a lot of people around them. But they were so they were so paralyzed somehow in their thinking that now we can't do that. What they had a very hard time to think of different ways to approach their fans. But there are fans, they're waiting for them. They want to not only listen to the music, they want to do something together with them. So what we are doing right now with the students, we are trying to reconnect this band, the Berlin-based kind of famous German band, with their fans again on a new way, and helping to build different bridges. And that is so. We are not done yet. The semester is not over, so I cannot comment on some results. But even the process itself was giving the musicians a new perspectives. They all of a sudden started thinking of, wow, yeah, you're right. If you look at the game industry, that is an inspirational source. We could move into that. We didn't think of that before. So get inspirations from all different areas, and make use of that.
Thank you for your answer. To make some release our stress in the COVID-19, because many people are talking about Corona blues. So he is giving us the answers to the question. Hybrid design thinking was the main topic of him, and whether it is digital or analog, we have to combine the conventional and the new way of thinking, and by doing so, we can find some new ways to navigate through this crisis that will have a big impact on the design. All in all, this situation is not for myself only, but to everyone. So we have to find solution together. That's the key messages. And then he also talked about how we can connect each other and how we can relate to each other to find the solution together. So far, we have tried to give answers to the questions from citizens. And time's already up. So all the speakers and audiences are coming from all different countries around the world, and it's really valuable chances to share our insight and lessons. I think that's very meaningful. I'd like to give a last chance to every speaker to make a last comment to audiences. Let's begin with Ms. Caroline Naphegyi. Please leave some short but impressive comment to the audience. Would you please?
Yeah, thank you. I think we have to keep our hope high and creators, designers, architects, all the creative community can help a lot to reinvent the world of tomorrow. So I think we are all on the same page, and I encourage designers to bring their voice very high to be heard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move to Ms. Juliana Buso.
Ms. Buso, please. Last comment.
Okay. Thank you. The design has the goal to make the people lives better. So develop solutions that contribute for a better world. And I think the most important thing is that each one has to think in doing your best and think about next, waste less, smile and love more, and for sure be calm. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Mr. Gustavo Maggio, please.
Yeah. If anything, I would say we should try to stay positive. Despite all the limitations and difficulties that we are experiencing with this pandemic, there are a lot of opportunities at the same time. And for example, the amount of content that is now made available for everyone to access. If you want to learn something new, a skill, a language, whatever you want to learn now, the amount of content that is available has never been like this before. So look at the bright side, look at the new opportunities that are arising. And at the same time, I think it's important for all of us to pause. I think we're all very busy usually in our lives with our work. And it's, at least for me, it has been the perfect opportunity to make a pause, rethink the priorities of what we have been doing in our studio, and recalibrate our ideals and our goals with what we actually do on a daily basis. And I think it's a perfect time for all of us to do this and recalibrate and align our desires with our daily actions.
Thank you. Now, Professor Weinberg, last comment, please.
I just have two comments. One is the motto of the HBI School of Design Thinking, which is spread ideas, not the virus. And my personal motto since 8 months now is stay negative, think positive. And have a great Christmas for those of you who celebrate it.
Thank you. And now I'd like to ask Professor Lee. I think we had some sound issues. So unfortunately, it's difficult to hear his voices, but I'd like to say goodbye by asking him, waving goodbye. Can you hear me now? It sounds clear. I feel very unfortunate that my connection was not good, and I hope my final comments can be heard well. Today we are in facing grand challenges, so I don't want to talk about big challenges, but I'd like to go back to our daily lives. There are small challenges that we can tackle. Let's go back to our small challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, every speakers. We really appreciate your participation. To respond to this crisis and prepare for the future, we shared our insight and practical cases to recover the sense of humanity and the value of designers, and how we can build new relations and how we can design the new design for the people. We have shared many different perspectives and stories with many of us. We can't do it alone. We have to do it together. And the way to cooperate can be designed. That's another suggestion during the presentation. We are at the real end of this forum. This is the end of 2020 Seoul Design Week online forum under the theme of the Design for New Normal. That's a conclusion. And once again, domestic and international speakers, thank you very much for your participation. And also, audiences, thank you very much for being here until the very last moment. Global Design Festival and Seoul Design Week will have another better programs next year too. Please stay healthy and safe and have a great year end. Thank you very much.